We got cheesy intros. We got the Miami Dolphins in the house. It's raining where I'm at, so I wish I was in Miami. But anyways, welcome everyone back to my 32 fan series, talking to 32 different fans, 32 different teams across the NFL, all the fun things. I am super excited just to be able to actually talk to you about football because I feel like we chatted a little bit here and there. So I want to welcome you in, and then I want to level set with the audience so everybody knows. Like, this was recorded May 8th or 9th or something like that. So right after the draft. Rookie mini camps haven't happened. If anything happens after we record, we are not going to talk about it. So it is not our fault that it did not happen before we recorded. So I'm level setting that. And then the other thing is we're just going to have a nice conversation. And so we have questions. Like, everybody should know by now, questions are prepared. We both know what's going on. I don't usually go off script, but sometimes I do go off script and we talk about something totally different. Like, I just thought about the Miami Hurricanes. I don't know if you have any thoughts on them, but if you have a little tidbit, we'll drop it at the end for them. But anyways, yeah, if you want to just introduce yourself so people know who you are, and then how long you've been a fan, when you became a Miami Dolphins fan, and then we'll just get started.
Yes, so happy to be a part of here. Thank you again. But yeah, my name is C2. My name is Cass, but they call me C2. I am a queen of South Florida football. I do it all from high school to professional. I do it all. I am the primary POC for my company for the Miami Hurricanes. So I'm mostly there, but to say the least, I am avid Miami Dolphins fan. We'll talk about that soon. And I am just all around just a fan of the sports. Every Miami team there is, Miami Heat, Miami Marlins, the Panthers, everything Miami. So it's been
That.
pretty cool. It's been like that since I was young. It started in the Marino era with the Mark brothers and just growing up watching them. I'm aging myself, but it's been one of those things. I was just kind of born into it.
Okay,
And
that's fine. So
yeah,
you've been
I've
a
been a
fan
fan
from
since.
jump. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
most
that's
definitely.
your squad. Okay.
Most
So
definitely.
how it's interesting to me because I feel like people that have been fans of teams in cool cities, I always wonder, like, are you a fan? Or are you just a fan because you're in the city and the city is bomb? Like, how does that usually work? But it sounds like you're like a fan. Like, you've kind of
I
been
am
on the okay. I
for a
like it.
long time. I mean, if you're still a Miami Dolphin fan, you're a fan. I'll just say that.
Fair. Fair, very fair, very fair. So, if you want to just recap for us for the 2024 season, how was it for you as a fan? How was the team? And if you have a song that you think describes what happened last season, we would love to hear it.
Tanisha, I'm not gonna lie. Coming on this podcast and talking about the Miami Dolphins like a love-hate relationship, it's like getting closure with your ex boyfriend or girlfriend or something like that.
That's fair.
It's just such a roller coaster between just everything that happened last year. Started off very slow, went 8-9, missed the playoffs. Also, the the 6 game winning streak was kind of
Right.
like,
Because you guys were close.
yeah, we were.
Yeah.
So the 6 game winning streak kind of gave us some life, like, okay, maybe we can do something here. But you know what happened towards the end. And it was
Right.
just like, it's just I'm not sure exactly. Also, too, the injuries really took a toll on us. The
Yeah,
roster
that's true.
holes definitely took a toll as well. It was just a combination of things that wouldn't put us past the first round of
Yeah.
playoffs. Or
Yeah.
so it's just like, what can you do? But as a fan of the Miami Dolphins, this is not anything new. Literally every year, it's the same thing. The same thing happens. We get riled up and we think we have some stuff going. We make it to the playoffs, we get kicked out. It's just one of those things. Like, it's just never gonna change.
Yeah.
I don't know. Should I stay with them, or just do I just compromise and stay with them? It's just one of those things, a love-hate relationships, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. What song do you have that describes the season? How are you feeling?
My song, oh, you asked what song too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see my army green. I put on today because I'm a survivor by Destiny Child. I'm a survivor. It's a It's
you're
so
you're doing
much
the
being
best
a
you
fan.
can.
Yes, it's so much being a fan. But to say the least, I hope GM Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel they've been looking to add some weight, some heavy weight
Yeah,
to the O line and looking to add some big guys and hoping that will make some changes to the Miami Dolphins. So we shall
I
see.
love that. So, how was free agency? So the season ends. Tyreek Hill is like,
Mhm.
"Get me out of here! I want out of here." Then I feel like a week or so later, he kind of came back and he was like, "Oh," or maybe his agent, whoever said it. What was it like this off season and free agency? Do you feel like you all were kind of like, "Yeah, whatever. Like, we're just gonna do what we're gonna do, whatever," or were you like, "Okay, we need to do we need to do something. We got to make some moves."
We definitely have to make moves because I feel like the right moves can be made. We can possibly be a playoff contending team again. Super Bowl out of the question. It's going to take some time for that. But and then Tua, being hurt, we need a
Hmm.
quarterback. A lot of guys left. We had Armstead, he retired. We had some trades that kind of hurt. Jake Holland left. Chris Wilkins, that's my guy. He left. It was just a lot of the players that the vets that were making a difference
Mm,
leave, and
interesting.
I was just and with Ramsey now, 31-year-old, he's the depth of our our secondary, our cornerbacks.
Yeah.
So it's like the off season was just kind of like, okay, what's happening right now?
Right.
I feel like the draft season was solid. I'm
Let's
not,
talk about it. How do you
yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about it. What was your favorite draft pick and what was the draft pick where you were like, "Oh no, same old Dolphins. Here we go."
I didn't really have a oh no, same old Dolphins kind of
Okay.
pick. I think the one of the good picks was Kenneth Grant. I did like
Okay.
Kenneth Grant from
Okay.
Michigan. I think him and Sailor together would be a great duo match
Love that.
on the
Yeah.
D line. Um, I think someone that what's his name? Someone that we did pick up that I felt like we only picked him up because we kind of had to. It was like an overboard was Jonah Williams. I think he was
Mm.
overpaid to say the least with that. Um, who else?
I know you guys have Quinn Ewers. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, so Quinn was a pick. Uh,
He was he was
Ali
an
was a good
option.
pick
He
too.
was an
I like
option.
Ali. I like Ali as well. I
I
like
love,
Ali.
I actually loved the Ollie Gordon pick.
Yeah, yeah, I like
Yeah,
it.
I think that will help Tua too. So I
Yeah.
like the Ollie Gordon pick. So
Yeah, but
I agree with that.
besides that, nothing really. I think they really were really trying to pick up and help the trenches, and I think that's the main focus for now. But I
Okay.
feel like the trenches needs work, but as well as the secondary. I think there's no depth in the secondary, which would definitely hurt us in the long run.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree with that. So what is the state of the Miami Dolphins? Like I heard you say maybe playoffs, but I heard you say definitely not Super Bowl, so maybe playoffs, which would probably mean you all would probably have to win 10 or so games to
Right.
potentially make the playoffs. Do you feel like you're capable of that? Do you feel like you have the pieces that you need? Like how do you feel like do you feel like you're going to battle for the division? Or are you thinking you're battling for a wild card? Like, how do we level set where we're at?
If we're talking, and again, I think Chris Greer's focus was picking up big guys,
Hmm.
6'6", 300-pound big guys.
Yeah,
That
big bodies.
protection for Tua,
Yeah.
who's some protection, but I feel like that won't be enough for our playoff run for a Super Bowl.
Okay.
Again, that's kind of just out. I mean, we're in NFL purgatory. It's just like it's good enough to compete, but it's not elite. Do you understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't expect much out of that.
Do you think it's the GM? The players, the coach, where do you feel like it's just like a pie and everybody owns 25% of that pie?
I feel like it is a pie. I feel
Okay.
like some of it is Chris Greer and the decisions that he does make, but I also do think it's the whole entire, um, you know,
No,
it's the
just
players as well. The
yeah.
players as well. Like when we had top players come into meetings late, not being a leader, like, off field situations happen that
Mhm.
just it just takes a toll on the team after a while, after everything, including the injuries that has happened throughout the season, the combination, Mike McDaniel as well. Like he's just it's pieces of the pie that is the combination of to what is happening right now at the
Yeah.
Miami Dolphins. And yeah, I have
Which
no idea where exactly it's going to go. Expectations are not high for me,
okay.
especially going against the Bills, which is our biggest rival in our division. You saw what happened last year,
Yeah.
and they just always find a way to beat us. And yeah, I'm not sure if we made enough uh picks or big decisions
Okay.
to have a huge difference from last year to this year.
That's fair. Is
Yeah.
there a player or someone on the team that you feel like is underrated or undervalued, or somebody that because of the injuries, because of the whole Tua thing, because of, the offense being electric and, all of these like just different nuances that you hear about the Dolphins throughout the year. Is there anybody on the team that you're like, we don't talk enough about this guy or this position group because we worry about so many other things that are happening?
Yeah, most definitely. I believe that and when you were asking a question, the first name that popped up in my mind was Zach Sealer. I think he's a
Ah,
great
okay.
player. His development has came a way. He's just one of those guys that's dependable and solid, and I feel like he is underrated many
Yeah,
times. I
I
mean,
like
we
that.
we still have, veteran top receivers like a Tyreek Hill and a Waddle. They're going to perform, but they're just explosive guys. But I don't know what happens when the O line struggles, So
Yeah.
um I don't know. I just think, but Zach Siller is one of those guys where it's like, yeah, he's very solid. Especially we had some guys leave that were crucial in the
Free
trenches.
agency.
So it's just
Yeah,
like
I was surprised by that too.
it's just like one of those things. But Zach, good guy, very solid, and I think he's underrated. I think he's
I like
underrated.
it. I respect it. So, what do you think a hot take is about the Miami Dolphins that people probably wouldn't agree with you, but it's your hot take that you have about the team?
Oh,
Or maybe people would agree with you actually.
Tua is not the long term answer.
Oh gosh,
It's
you know what? Yeah.
I feel
Well, you
like
have Quinn
his
Ewers.
I know now, but I mean, I feel like he's
It's-
capped at this point. I'm
Yeah.
not sure exactly what they're going to do, but he's definitely capped at a ceiling. Like this offense has to be perfect or top tier in order for this to work. And I just feel like Tua is just capped. That
Mm,
this is
I
not
can see it.
long term. This is not gonna turn. I don't think this is gonna turn around and he's gonna become this. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's
I
my
can see
take.
that. I
That's
can
my
see
take.
that. And then if you were GM for a day, then what would be the first move you would make?
If I was a GM for today, if I was Chris for today, what would I do? I would definitely focus on the secondary because there's no depth. There's no depth. I
Mm,
know we added a few guys through. I know we got some rookies at mini camp right now, but I would definitely focus on building a secondary. We don't have any depth. And then with Ramsey, he wants out. I don't know what's gonna happen
oh, does
with
he?
that whole. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's what 31. He's an older. He's older. There's nothing really going on. It's just
Yeah.
I will focus on the second. I would focus on getting more guys for the secondary. That's what I would do if I was a GM for a
Okay.
day. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So before we get into our overtime round, let's talk about these Miami Hurricanes because you know what? Every year
Ooh,
I want
okay.
this. I'm like, we got this. I'm thinking they're gonna do it. And then not last year, 2024, 2023, I was like, okay, that ain't it. Okay, it's okay. This year it's gonna be better. There's Cam Ward, the offense is clicking, the defense got this. And then I felt like throughout the season, I was like, oh, the defense doesn't got it. That's okay because Cam Ward does. Cam Ward does. And then it just didn't quite work the way it's supposed to work. So I would just like to know, like, how are you feeling about the Miami Hurricanes 2025 thoughts? Do you have any thoughts like about Carson Beck? Any thoughts at this point? Like, can the defense tackle this year? Like, I just want to know anything you can share with me to make me feel better. I would
Wait,
love to hear.
are you a Miami Hurricane fan?
So I'm a Texas Longhorn fan.
Okay.
And I cheer for Colorado as well. But I remember when Miami was good. And I remember like those days of football. So
Back in the day.
yeah, but so for me, I'm like, Texas is now like doing what they're supposed to do. Like, if we could get Miami, it's almost like an old school, like, hey, I remember this type of thing. And I think football is good when Miami is good at football. I think it just makes
Mhm.
college football better. So that's how I
Mhm.
feel about Miami. I never cheer against them. Obviously, if they played for Texas, I would, but I usually don't ever. So I'm like, I just want to see them win. I want to see them go to the ACC championship game, and I want to like that's what I want. So am I crazy?
Yeah, I mean, if it was a year to go to the ACC championship, it would have been this year with Cam Ward. This year was the year for them to go and to win. Like this was their biggest chance to
Yeah.
win. I had the pleasure of covering throughout the whole entire season from day one when Cam Ward transferred over. It was questionable. I mean, he had great numbers at Washington State, but we knew
Mhm.
he can perform. We just wanted to see how he would gel with Coach Mario Cristobal's schemes, Shannon Dawson, and how just everything would work out. And it worked out amazingly
Yeah.
offensively.
Right.
However, sort of like what's going on now, the secondary, the defense was not it. And
Yeah.
earlier, I this is my what I think happened.
Okay.
Early on in the season, we got some guys like Barron. They picked up some defensive linemen. They got a safety as well, Mish Powell. They picked up some guys, and throughout the fall camp, they had a big guy go out on injury. They had two big guys go out on injury. They had a corner. Um, Brown went out, and then they had another not safety, but another DB that got hurt as well. So
Okay.
with those guys going out, those guys were looking to start. Damari Brown was starting for sure. Also, um, Derek Porter you got hurt during the season. It was just the injuries. So with
Okay.
that, the depth became it. There was no depth. They had a true freshman by the name of OJ Frederick. He was on the island by himself. He was holding it down for the corners. No, but they were not throwing his way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like one of those things where unfortunately the defense did not cover what they needed to cover. And Cam had to come out and do what Cam did to put points on the board. And Cam did that. However,
Yeah.
it wasn't enough. The defense was not good at enough. And I feel like the defensive coordinator at that time was trying different things and it was not working out for Miami. And I felt like it also created some type of toxic it
Mm.
created a lot going on between
Yeah.
the coordinators and the staff of why okay so why why is the defense not carrying their load
Right.
and
Why
it
are we doing everything?
kind of
Yeah.
just snowballed and you see what happened towards the end of the season you see what happened at Syracuse the games were I mean California game was close Virginia Tech game was close they lost in Georgia Tech. And then on top of that, they had a 21-0 lead
The
versus
21-0
Syracuse,
lead.
and they
I
blew it.
yeah.
They blew it.
That was not great. Like that
It
was yeah.
yeah, but Cam
So
Ward, he was amazing. He was the same
he
person
did
since day
everything he
one.
was supposed to
Yeah,
do.
he did. He
Yeah.
did everything. Unfortunately, the defense was not there. And the defensive coordinator could not make that work.
Do
So,
we think this year it's going to be better? Because I know that defense coordinator's gone, got a new guy in. Are we
mhm.
hoping it's at least a little better? Is that the hope?
I will say this. I will say it it's more balanced, right? I
Okay.
would say the defense and the offense, they're more balanced. I feel like the secondary is better.
Okay.
We have not seen Carson Beck throw with the
Mm,
ones. We haven't seen
okay.
him in action. We haven't seen him practice with the ones. We're not seeing it yet. So that will be the pivotal point of how Carson Beck come in and how well he does with the receiver room now is very young. We had guys like
Yeah.
Xavier Restrepo, Jacoby George, all
That have
those
been there for a
guys left.
while.
So
Yeah.
now it's a young receiving core. They do have McDaniels, but um, he just transferred over, but he's the oldest one. So it's still a transitioning to see like, okay, they picked up a few guys throughout the transfer portal window, but we'll see how that all comes together in the fall camp and Carson Beck throwing to the ones and those reps and just seeing how everything would go. But I do think the team is more balanced this year. I'm not expecting Carson Beck to be a Cam Ward. That's not going to happen. You're crazy if you think that's going to
Yep.
happen, but Carson Beck is going to be Carson Beck. He performed at Georgia, so and that's a high level school. So it's like one of those things that we just have to wait and see. We
Okay.
just have to wait and see.
Okay. Well, that makes me feel better that you said balanced because last year I was just like, what
Girl, I was
this?
at every game on the sideline. I'm at every practice. I'm at every game. And I knew immediately in the spring season last year, I knew I'm like, yo, something has to give with this defense. If they don't do
It's
anything, it's gonna be bad. And it
one thing
was bad.
I don't think people realize is the people that see it every day. You kind of know because you feel it, and you're kind of like, oh no. But then when it starts to happen, you're like, I knew it. Like, it's like, yeah,
And it's a
okay,
tragedy because I want these guys to win. I'm with them every day. I'm rooting them on. I want them to win.
yeah,
Also makes my job more fun. Like, yo, we're
right,
winning.
yeah.
They won 10 games. It's the first time they won 10 games since 2017. That season was really fun too. And I'm just really looking forward to the new season. Notre Dame, their first game, August
Yeah.
31st. 2017 Notre Dame game was top tier, so I'm hoping it's a great game as well for Notre Dame versus Miami, first game of the season. So I'm excited. I'm
I
excited.
love it.
I'm excited to see what Miami has to bring this season. So, yeah,
Okay,
y'all
cool.
y'all make
I
sure y'all
love that.
follow me if y'all want to see any coverage on Miami Hurricanes as well.
Yeah, and I will drop all your description. I'll in the description of this episode, I'll put all of your information. So we'll anything you want me to put in there, we'll make sure to connect and make sure it's all in there so that people can just click it and go there. So no, they won't even
Uh,
have to search for you. I
yeah.
can have it as easy as
Okay.
I can make
They
it.
could see me. They
Awesome.
could see me crying at the draft when Cam Ward was picked number one. That's
Oh,
I know it was. I don't know. When you're around these kids so much, it's just like they're your nephews or
yeah.
your little nephews and stuff. So it's cool. And Cam family, they're amazing as well. So I'm so happy for them, and I'm so happy for Cam because he definitely put in that work. So
Yeah.
and
I
now,
love it.
shoot, to be honest with you, I might be a Titan fan. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, we'll see. Well, I don't know. Depending on how that season goes, you might be better off where you're at, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
we shall
So,
see. It's crazy
I
right
love
now,
that.
Miami.
It is crazy. Awesome. So let's talk about the overtime questions. So I am cheesy. And so I have 4 questions for overtime because
Okay.
it takes 4, plays, or you have 4 chances to, like, first. Anyways, it made sense in my mind. And then every time I say it out loud, I'm like, this is so cheesy, but I love it. So I didn't change it. So the first question is, and these are like rapid fire, but if you want to take a minute and kind of be like, I don't really know, give me a second, that's fine.
Okay.
So which division rival do you love to hate the most and why? When it comes to the Dolphins. Sorry, I know we veered off to the Hurricanes, but
No, okay. Yeah. So for a while, it was the Patriots.
all
Uh,
right.
I used to, oh. But I think now it's the Bills.
Okay.
I always like to say Jets, suck, but no, it's the Bills right now. I think the Bills, every year they find a way to embarrass us some way, somehow. And yeah, the Bills are on the clock right now. They are
That's fair.
those guys.
Okay. If you could change one thing about your franchise, what would it be? So you can change ownership, stadium, uniforms, anything you can think of that you would change.
I think they do a really good job at our uniforms, especially like the old
I do
ones and the
too.
new
I
ones.
like the
I
white with
love
the logo.
I love our colors already.
Yeah.
But one thing for sure, and I can say this for both because the Miami Hurricanes actually play at the Hard Rock as well. So I'm there Saturday and Sunday.
And Sunday.
Change the stadium into a dome. It's always 100 degrees outside. It's raining. It might rain. You just never know what South Florida like. Can we get something closed indoors? And sometimes I like it because the sun is like beaming
I never
on
thought
the
about it.
visitors team. The sun is
Mm-hmm.
beaming on the visitors team. But it's like, okay, if it rains, it'll rain. It's just, bro, but just put something over to cover
Just
us,
put
and
something
then
over it.
make it so it can open up, just in case. Like if we know we're gonna have a beautiful, nice, sunny day, one p.m. game, or maybe a night game, or
Right.
just close it or
I like
open
it.
it.
Okay.
Let
I
us
like
have an
that.
option to do it.
I like
I
it.
think that would be great. I love the Atlanta Dome. Like I think I love their dome and what they have going on.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think is that the newest dome? Is that the newest dome built, or is it in the Raiders, Las Vegas? Is they building
Or
one?
is it the Rams? Or is it the Rams and the Chargers?
No, Rams have a really nice.
I feel like I
No,
don't know. I feel like it would be. I mean, I could Google it. I'm going to Google it while I'm going to ask you the question
okay,
about player
okay.
swap. If you could swap one player from your team, from team of your rival. So, like, well, I was going to say something, but I don't want to say it because you might actually say that. I was going to say if you could swap one player, like if you could swap Tua for Josh Allen, like who would player swap if you could
You know
swap?
what? That would be easy. That would be
That would
easy
be
to
the
say.
yeah.
I'm going to say. I'm going to say Sauce from the Jets.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to
And who
say
are you
Sauce
willing
from
to
the
give up?
Jets. Somebody. Okay. Who am I willing to give up? We got a couple guys. I mean, we got some new guys that I mean, Fuller, he can go. Cup. Let's see. I mean,
Somebody's got to go.
yeah, somebody got to go.
Yeah.
Anybody other than Ramsey, you can go. But
Okay.
I definitely Sauce Gardner. I like the kid. I
Yeah.
like the kid. Yeah.
I like them too. So SoFi is the most current. Oh,
So okay.
SoFi, and both of them opened in the 2000. Both stadiums opened before the 2020 season, so it looks like they both
Mm.
got built at the same time. Awesome. So the last question that I will ask for you today, and then I'll open it for you to tell me anything you want to say or anything that you wish we would talked about, or anything for that matter, is describe your team's fan base in 3 words.
3 words. I would say loyal.
Okay.
Because I just feel like you just have to be loyal to default. You have to be frustrated. Frustrated
Mm,
every
that's a good one.
year. Honestly, I kind of just wipe my hands but I was at 3 games. So it's like,
Yeah.
um, and I would say hopeful. Hopeful is another word I will because we're always hopeful every single year. I feel like we always get our hopes up. But maybe. I mean, we made the playoffs years in a row, but just never did anything with it.
Got it.
Last year was the first year. Um, yeah, last year was the first year not making the playoffs in a minute. So it's just been. I would say hopeful. I would say
Okay.
hope. Yeah.
I like it. Those are good words. I like them.
Thanks.
So
Thanks.
that is all I had for you. So first and foremost, I appreciate you just like being willing to share your time. I know you've been extremely busy, and anytime anybody gives me, I don't care if you were giving me 2 minutes, 25 minutes, 2 hours, like just anytime somebody says, "Yes, I'm more than willing to like do this with you." It means the world to me. So I just wanted to thank you. I know I thanked you privately, but I'm thanking you publicly because I do appreciate it. Because you don't know me from anything, right? You could have been like, "No, girl, I'm good." So I appreciate that. And then we'll end on you. So anything you want to say, anything you want to add, then I'll just hit the end button.
I well, what I'll end with this with the Miami Dolphins and my fellow fans just hang in there. But we every year, we grab some people. We're talented, but we're flawed. It's just one of those things. And the season throughout, let's just hope we stay healthy. And I don't know if the team be will survive if we don't have a secondary. And that's my biggest concern throughout next season.
Mm,
But I'm still hopeful.
okay.
It's like, what can you do? What can you do? But
That's what it is being a fan, right?
yeah, I mean, again, girl, I told you, coming to this podcast, I felt like I had to, if some closure with my ex. I
Yes.
felt like I'm
So this
like,
is like therapy. Okay, we're here. This is
I have to
code.
talk. I have to talk about them. I have to talk about them.
Yeah.
I was hoping to just forget about them until the season start
Yeah.
again. But I mean, I still get the notifications. I still I still, click the link if I see something or how much they're paying people. I'm like, oh, okay. I still do that type of stuff. So I still read the messages, but
Yeah.
do I reply? I don't know. Well, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
listen,
But
you know the old saying, as long as you're still interested,
yeah.
there's as long as you're still interested in engaging. Now, if your engagement level, whatever, but as long as you're still kind of like, what are y'all doing? All right, whatever. Then you're right where you're supposed to be. If you're, and especially if you're frustrated, you're doing the best you can.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Well, watch. I'm talking all the smack, but I'll be at the Hard Rock on
of
some
course.
Sundays. I'm pretty sure I will be. But I am looking forward to seeing like what they do. Mini camp is going on, so who they bring on, who hopefully we don't have too many people like. I mean, it was some big time people that I really liked that left, and I'm just like, but
Yeah.
it's a business at the end of the day, and I know how everything goes, but I want to tell you, thank you so much. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for bringing me on here talking about my Miami
You
Dolphins.
are very welcome.
Dolphins, like, you are amazing. This was so much fun, and I look forward to covering more Miami Dolphins stuff. I'll be there. I'll be talking about them on all of my social media platforms, going through it. So if you want to go through it with me, go ahead and follow that ad. All my
There you
Dolphin
go.
fans, follow that ad. If you want to go through this toxic relationship with me with the Miami Dolphins, but to
I
say
love
the
it.
least, Tanisha, it's been really really cool doing this with you, and I am excited for this. I'm honestly ready for football to come back.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, I was at the NFL draft. That was cool. It was in Green Bay. It was cold. Nothing to do, but whatever. And now it's, like camps and stuff, and it's about to slow down for, college is already slowing down, but
Hmm.
I'm ready for football again.
Yeah, it'll be back before you know it, and who knows? This might be Miami's year. No, anyways, I don't know, but we'll end on that. I'll talk to you later, girl.
All right, I appreciate you, my girl. Thank you so much. You have a
You're
good one
very
now.
you're very welcome.